This is a tutorial on studio portraits using strobe lighting. In the camera bag, you'll have a Nikon D80 camera body with standard lens, a charger, and a cloth for cleaning your lens. You will also need at least a 1 gig memory card, and you'll need to get the Radio Frequency Studio Flash Trigger Kit. Here's the radio kit. On the left is the radio trigger, and on the right is the radio receiver. The memory card goes in the right side. Make sure to set the camera on manual, which is M. Then turn the camera on. You will see that the top left shows the battery level. The bottom right shows the number of shots you have available on your card, and then you'll have the speed for your shutter and the f-stop that you will be on. Press the menu button on the back of the camera and go to the camera icon, then select Optimize Image, and then arrow until you hit Normal. Then arrow down to Image Quality and select Fine. For image size, select Large. For white balance, select the flash icon. ISO sensitivity is very important so that we don't have a lot of noise in the background, so please select 200. Now take the flash trigger and place it into the hot shoe adapter on top of the camera. Make sure to push it in all the way. This is the setup for the studio space. Notice the white backdrop and the umbrellas. On the right is the black umbrella. Notice that it's pointed away from the backdrop. That's the reflective light. And then the light on the left side is the diffused light. Notice that it's pointing towards the backdrop. You can adjust the backdrop on the left using the chain. Tripods are helpful to minimize blurriness. Now place the sync cord of the radio receiver into the back of the reflected light. It's the black umbrella one with the silver lining. Then push the button down on the radio receiver. Then turn the lights on. The knob in the middle controls the intensity of the light. This is how it should look. Now for the diffused light to even our lighting with the reflective light. Turn this on. Press the button on top of the camera to make sure that the strobe lighting is working. You will know it works if the light goes off on both of our lights, the reflected light and the diffused light. The shutter speed should be set at 200 and the f-stop should be set at 16. Turning the back knob will set the shutter speed. Turning the front knob will set the f-stop. It is best to shoot on auto with strobe lighting, so make sure that your lens is set for that. Here's a closer view. Now shut off the ceiling lights and take a picture to test out your lighting. The play button is on the top left of the LCD screen. This is an example of the shutter speed being too high. This is at 250 at f16. Remember, we should be at 200 since that is the maximum sync speed with our flash. This is an example of an underexposed picture, so there is not enough light. This is an example of an overexposed picture where there is too much light entering the camera. This photo is just right. Remember, 200 for shutter speed and f16 for the aperture. Here's an example of what a setup might look like. For a different effect, you can use the wide-angle lens converter. Carefully unscrew the back and attach it to the camera lens. Do this carefully, and remember, we never force anything in photography. Here is an example of a regular photo taken without the wide-angle lens converter. And here's an example with the wide-angle lens converter. Notice the vignetted edges. Remember to experiment with different poses. If for some reason the lighting doesn't work and you've checked everything, all connections, and it's a new light bulb in the lamp, the fuse might be blown. To check if the fuse is blown, carefully unscrew while holding the edge. This is what it looks like unscrewed. Pull the fuse out and check. In this case, this fuse is still good since you can see through the glass the straight line. If it was broken, that means the fuse was blown and you'll have to replace it. Here is a pack of new fuses. Sometimes the batteries in the receiver wear out. They can be replaced like so. This usually happens when people forget to push the button so that it's up. When it's down, it's using up batteries, and when it's up, it's off. When you're done, put everything back to where it was, shut off all the lights, put the lens cap back on, and put all camera components into the bag. Try to have fun with these portraits. Use props to add to someone's character and personality. Also, a fan can do wonders. Just make sure it's not in the picture frame, like the lower right corner, and move the lighting so that it's lighting up the person's face and not creating dark, unattractive shadows. Have fun and be creative.